Standing calmly beneath the massive, ominous shadows, Lin Tian looks out with Alice and Cassandra right by his side. Alice immediately recognizes the approaching threat, mentioning to Lin Tian that those people are actually from the notorious Dragon Slayer Guild. Hearing the name, a questioning thought echoes in the goblin's mind. Glancing sideways to analyze the situation, Lin Tian watches as the three heavily armored human adventurers proudly ride forward on horseback. He notes to himself that he didn't expect the group to be that strong, realizing they are actually formidable opponents. Suddenly, the lead rider, Stephen, angrily scoffs from his horse. He confirms that the targets really are just a bunch of goblins and angrily demands they stop talking. Declaring that he doesn't have any more time to waste, he aggressively demands they hand over the ancient dragon they're hiding, loudly proclaiming that today is the perfect opportunity to slaughter every last one of them. Standing with his arms open in genuine confusion, Lin Tian bluntly points out that there isn't even half a dragon anywhere near him, completely baffled and asking if they are all crazy. He wonders out loud who would ever believe a group of goblins actually has a connection to an ancient dragon. Furious that the target is denying it, Stephen violently grabs his blonde companion Edward by the collar. He aggressively demands a reasonable explanation right now, threatening to chop him up on the spot for dragging them all the way out here for absolutely nothing. Terrified for his life, Edward desperately begs him to wait. He frantically reminds Stephen about the old Pope Douglas and the monster Veronica, revealing that both of those legendary figures were actually defeated by this very goblin, while Stephen just glares back furiously. Refusing to believe it, Stephen angrily asks if Edward thinks he's stupid enough to be played with. He points out that Douglas and Veronica were the strongest beings on the continent, and even their guild master failed to defeat them, calling the claim an absolute insult to the guild. Screaming defensively, the terrified Edward swears on his life that he isn't lying at all, insisting that the fall of the Lionheart Empire was also this goblin's doing and begging Stephen to connect the dots. A menacing, greedy smile suddenly creeps across Stephen's face. He realizes that if Edward is telling the truth, then this tiny goblin is actually a top-class prize that surpasses even Douglas and Veronica. He excitedly shouts out to his brothers that they've just found the absolute biggest catch of their entire lifetime. Meanwhile, Lin Tian stands completely unfazed, his body heavily enveloped in a dark, terrifying red aura as one of the humans excitedly claims that bringing his head back to the guild will earn them the best display spot in the museum. Watching the chaotic arguing, Alice quietly warns Lin Tian to be careful, stating that everyone in the Dragon Slayer Guild is completely crazy. Standing beside him, she points out that while they look somewhat normal on the outside, on the inside they are incredibly extreme, obsessive, and entirely unpredictable. Listening to her serious warning, Lin Tian casually murmurs to himself. A wicked, mischievous smile creeps across his face as he eagerly waits to see exactly what these arrogant humans can do. Holding up a glowing, crackling orb of energy, Lin Tian smiles wickedly, asking who exactly is the crazier one here. Instantly enraged, Stephen violently charges forward on horseback, his massive axe completely engulfed in flames, screaming that the goblin is an absolute idiot. He furiously orders him to die and aggressively calls out his Heracles' savage charge skill, without hesitation, launching a devastating attack. But right as the attack lands, Lin Tian aggressively activates his Lucky Snatch skill, causing an incredibly bright, blinding light to instantly erupt all around him. Caught off guard by the intense flash, Alice quickly covers her face. Nearby, Stephen and Steve also frantically shield their eyes from the blinding light, completely confused and asking what exactly is going on. Suddenly, one of them screams out for everyone to retreat, warning the group that this is theft magic and stating that if their weapons are stolen, their combat power will drastically decrease. Reacting quickly, a heavily armored foot violently stomps the ground to stop his momentum. Stephen stands completely ready, still firmly gripping his massive axe. A menacing, arrogant grin spreads across his face as he mocks the tiny goblin, gloating that his luck stat clearly isn't that high since his weapon wasn't stolen, though he admits his heart was beating fast and he actually got goosebumps. But a second later, Stephen looks down at his own chest in absolute confusion and sheer shock. Standing a short distance away, Lin Tian completely deadpans as he casually holds up a pink bra by the strap while his two female companions watch in stunned silence. Seeing the deeply guarded secret exposed, the terrified blonde adventurer begins profusely sweating, his eyes widening in absolute horror. Absolutely disgusted, Lin Tian frantically flails his arms around while holding the pink bra, screaming that he really can't believe a muscular man in heavy armor was actually carrying something like this, calling him absolutely crazy. Completely humiliated, Stephen furiously screams out from the background, demanding the damn goblin give it back and threatening to tear him apart with his bare hands. Trying to save face, Steven and Steve angrily draw their swords and glare furiously at the goblin. They desperately tell their older brother not to panic, promising to help him defeat the monster. But Lin Tian isn't done. His green hand holds up a pair of pink lace underwear, and system text officially congratulates him on successfully stealing Steven's lacy underwear. Next, his green hand holds up a large bouquet of fake flowers, and another system message congratulates him on stealing Steve's giant fake knob. Realizing that the Lucky Snatch skill is literally designed to steal the items most deeply cherished by its targets, Lin Tian looks absolutely horrified. Absolutely disgusted by his cursed loot, Lin Tian screams out asking what the hell all these disgusting things are, dramatically complaining that it's making him completely sick. In the background, Steven suddenly crouches down, frantically clutching his groin in pure panic as he cries out to his brother that the precious item he gave him has been completely stolen. Right beside him, Steve also drops to a crouch, desperately clutching his own groin and crying to his second brother that the precious amulet he wears day and night is suddenly gone. Steven completely snaps, his eyes widening in pure rage as he screams furiously that absolutely no one is getting out of here alive. With a final, furious roar echoing across the cavern, Steven violently swings his giant axe, aggressively unleashing a massive, devastating energy wave straight at the goblin. Down below, Lin Tian frantically throws his hands up, using his own glowing magic to desperately block the massive blue energy blast. Refusing to let up, Steven aggressively leaps forward, violently swinging his massive glowing axe once again. Another massive, devastating beam of crackling blue energy violently shoots forward across the battlefield. After launching the massive attack, Steven stands firmly in place, tightly gripping his axe and staring down his target. On the other side, Lin Tian desperately holds up a glowing blue bow to defend himself while a large goblin standing next to him panics, frantically asking his boss what the human is doing. Standing completely ready with his giant axe, Steven arrogantly scoffs, asking the goblin if that's really all he can do. The Lin Tian quietly curses to himself, deciding that they just need to try and hold these crazy humans off for as long as possible until Fiona finally arrives with her troops.